Tonight on Newswatch, the latest from the polls and what local races and issues to be looking out for.
Plus, 1 month of war in Israel.
And in sports, Ohio soccer has won its first ever MAC title and will go to the big dance. Newswatch starts right now.
It's Tuesday, November 7th, and that means it's Election Day here in Southeast Ohio and other states across the country. Good evening, I'm Reese Thompson.
And I'm Silver Barker. Welcome to Newswatch. There's less than an hour left to get out to the polls this election night. Joining us live from the Board of Elections here in Uptown Athens is Olivia Roman. Olivia?
Reese and Silver, it's a beautiful night here in Athens, and we got that final hour of elections left. The polls are open. They opened this morning at 6:30 a.m. and they're about to close here in about an hour at 7:30 p.m. And I'm currently at the Athens County Board of Elections. I'm near it. And okay, the board says today has been going smoothly and similarly to other elections in the past. From 6:30 a.m. to 5:15 p.m. today, it has been reported that 10,360 people have voted, which is about 27% countywide. The amount of voters coming in have been picking up since around 4:30 p.m., with them also expecting a bigger rush after 5 p.m. when people get off of work. The Athens County Board of Elections are a provisional voting site, which is why they also see a big student voter turnout at their local location. In general, Issue 1 and 2 are really pulling in voters around Ohio this election, since Issue 1 deals with abortion rights and Issue 2 deals with the legalization of recreational marijuana. Results will start coming in later tonight. This election's early voting turnout outpaced the number of voters who cast early ballots in the August special election. That election just had one question, which was an amendment that would make it harder to pass future amendments, including the abortion rights amendment we are going to see on this election's ballot. The Secretary of State's office reports over 852,000 ballots were cast so far in the month-long period of early voting, with over 119,000 absentee ballots that still haven't come in yet. The higher turnout is being led by an analysis of data in the nearly 2/3 of counties that have posted early vote trackers online that shows 82% of the increase in voter turnout to be from independent or non-affiliated voters. There are 37,000 more registered voters in this election than there were during the August vote.
Thanks, Olivia. If you still plan on heading to the polls tonight, remember you'll need to bring a valid ID.
Well, it definitely looks like it got a little chilly out there, but earlier today, for those who were out there voting, it was definitely some pretty good weather. Now, with a first look at your local weather, here's Isabel Isco.
It was definitely a warmer one here in Southeast Ohio than we're usually used to for election in November. You could see throughout the entire United States, even at this later hour, it is a little bit on the warmer side still. Chicago 53, Pittsburgh 64, Louisville 72, and here locally over those past 24 hours, you could see we are having temperatures in between those low 60s and even those mid 70s. We're expecting only a temperature high of 70 today, but we beat that and we are at about 74 degrees out there. Currently, if you're still heading out to those polls, you're looking at temperatures in Newark 61, Lancaster 61, Huntington 69, and here in Athens, sorry about that, at about 64 degrees. Definitely on that warmer side than we were expecting, and I'll definitely be getting into that later in my forecast. Let's take it back to Reese and Silver.
We had our election special last night, but as the countdown for ballot results inches closer, here's a quick recap of this year's big local races and how issues and how they could impact you.
Ohio is the only state with abortion rights on the November ballot, and it is up to Ohio voters to decide if a simple majority will pass State Issue 1. Like Olivia mentioned earlier, it's been a reason why many have shown up to the polls this month, either to show their strong support or opposition. Voters can expect challenges from all sides after today. Right now, while legal challenges to a law that banned abortion after 6 weeks went into effect with the overturning of Roe, people can get an abortion up until 22 weeks into the pregnancy. But if Issue 1 fails, the period in which someone could get an abortion will depend on the outcome of the legal challenge before the Ohio Supreme Court. So regardless of tonight's results, the fight over abortion is far from over.
Community members are voting on a controversial matter that has turned legal in 23 states now, and possibly Ohio will be added to that list. Issue 2 pushes to make recreational marijuana regulated like alcohol. If the issue passes today, it would allow adult use sale, purchase, and possession of cannabis for those 21 and older. Adults could possess anywhere between 2.5 ounces of marijuana up to 15 grams of marijuana and would be able to grow up to 6 plants at home. The issue would impose a 10% tax on any cannabis purchase, with those proceeds going towards administrative costs, addiction treatment, and municipalities that host dispensaries. 50 new dispensary licenses and 40 new cultivator licenses would be available if recreational marijuana becomes a reality in the state.
Voters in Athens may be experiencing some deja vu in this year's mayor race. Mayor Steve Patterson versus Athens resident Damon Crane. It's a rivalry Athenians have seen before. In 2019, the two ran against each other when Patterson was up for a second term. In that race, Patterson won by over 2,000 votes. The winner of this year's election will be in office till 2027. The two candidates gave different ideas for improving living conditions in the city, and you can read what they had to say at woub.org. Another local topic that appears on the Ohio November ballot is a bond levy from the Athens City School District to get approval to build a brand new Athens high school. The cost of this project is estimated to be about $58 million. Now, if the levy passes, $24 million of the project would come from property owners here in Athens, leading to a 2.06 mils increase in property taxes. After the money is collected locally, the state will pitch in $28.5 million for the district to spend on the school. The rest of the money would come from a $60.5 million bond levy the school district collected from property owners back in 2018, which has $6 million left. If the project is approved, construction is expected to start in 2025 and could take anywhere from 18 to 30 months.
The Alexander School District is looking to renew a 1% levy that only taxes earned income and provides roughly 11% of the district's budget. Since it passed in 2019, the district has been able to grow its preschool, expand staff, cut athletic fees, and introduce a free breakfast program. While Alexander spends less than the state average per student, they still received a 4.5 rating on Ohio's school report card. So if the levy isn't renewed, it's set to expire in 2025. And the school will have to decide on cutting programs like free breakfast, making changes to the transportation system, and increasing the student-to-teacher ratio. And in Nelsonville, York, there are 6 seats open on City Council. And after the last 10 months of registrations and involving door in council, this isn't news. The one seat not open will continue to be filled by Greg Clement. The candidates have chosen to run in 2 separate groups. This may seem unusual, but the groups reflect the different competing interests on the council. But at the forum hosted by the League of Women Voters, the candidates in attendance agreed on every issue.
That race is one of many being decided on around the region. Join us after the polls close this evening. The WOUB News team will be hard at work getting you the latest results from races across the region. Be sure to check out the website for those race results and check out the morning edition for the audio recap on these results. But first, here's an overview of the big races and issues across the country.
Election Day 2023's key contests.
Let's get out there. Let's get this thing done.
A big chance for both parties.
Get out and vote. Get out and vote.
To gauge what might motivate voters in 2024.
It does make sense to take a look at any kind of signals that one is getting from people actually going out and voting, or as importantly, not going out and voting.
2 governor's races test Democratic mettle in red states. In Kentucky, incumbent Democrat Andy Beshear faces Republican State Attorney General Daniel Cameron. In Mississippi, Democrat Brandon Presley aims to unseat Republican incumbent Tate Reeves. In Virginia, all 140 seats in the legislature are up for grabs. Republican Governor Glenn Youngkin not on the ballot, but campaigning to turn the state red.
I think voters are going to come out today and they're going to help us hold our House and flip our Senate.
Democrats calling in help from former President Barack Obama.
I'm calling to remind you that today is Election Day in Virginia.
And in Ohio, voters are considering an initiative that would enshrine abortion rights in the state's constitution. It will also offer a look at how reproductive rights are motivating the current electorate.
If it turns out that Democrats don't show up for that one to the same degree that they did even a few months ago, then that would be a real worrying sign for Democrats.
Also on the ballot, every seat in New Jersey's state legislature and in the New York City Council, where Republicans seek to narrow Democrats' typical Northeast strongholds. For Newswatch, I'm Karen Katha in Washington.
Still ahead, 1 month of war in Israel. What's next for Gaza and Israel after the break? And the potential signs of the most common neurodivergent disease.
Hamas unleashed a ferocious attack.
As the conflict intensifies,
Israel continues to respond.
A special presentation of Frontline's 2002 film, Shattered Dreams of Peace, how the historic peace process was undone.
They really thought that Arafat meant peace. I didn't think that he meant peace.
There are some points which, if you are in my place, you will not accept it.
We are talking about the toughest issues that humankind has ever dealt with.
Tonight at 10 on WOUB.
I got a call from our imam. He said our mosque is on fire.
We don't want any kind of a witch hunt.
The fact that this was a mosque raised many red flags.
And this, ladies and gentlemen, is a hate crime.
Victoria is at a crossroad.
You can no longer sit by and say, this isn't my community, because it is.
Everybody says we're all in it together, but I don't think that's the case.
Tuesday at 9 on WOUB.
There is a battle playing out in the southeastern corner of Utah. It's a fight over whose voice gets heard, who decides how this region, now known as Bears Ears, is managed, protected, and preserved.
These resources are too valuable, they're irreplaceable, and once they're gone, they're gone.
Thursday at 10 on WOUB.
The thing about Native women leaders, they have that toughness, that backbone.
I will continue to fight for our most vulnerable people. There's always work to be done.
I'm proud to say that I am a Native designer. I embrace that.
As a woman, it's a part of my responsibility to take care of the environment. We owe her our life.
Tonight at 9 on WOUB.
It's been 1 month since Hamas terrorists attacked Israel, killing 1,400 people and igniting a war between Israel and Hamas. After weeks of retaliatory Israeli strikes, more than 10,000 people have died in Gaza, say officials from the health ministry, sourcing numbers from the Hamas-controlled enclave. Laura Geary has the latest developments.
It's been 1 month of war. For an estimated 240 people, including Americans, it means over 30 days of captivity and counting by Hamas militants. The Israel Defense Forces marking 1 month by pushing ground forces deeper into Gaza, saying they destroyed more Hamas tunnels Tuesday.
Paramount need is to defeat this axis.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says there will be no ceasefire until all Hamas-held hostages are released. And a broader question after 1 month is, if current hostilities end, what's next for Gaza?
What does governance look like in Gaza? Because whatever it is, it can't be what it was on October 6th. It can't be Hamas.
I think Israel will, for an indefinite period, will have the overall security responsibility.
But an Israeli presence in Gaza could further inflame regional tensions.
The president still believes that a reoccupation of Gaza by Israeli forces is not good. It's not good for Israel, not good for the Israeli people.
That concern is expected to top the agenda of G7 leaders meeting in Japan Tuesday, where Secretary of State Antony Blinken and diplomats from 6 other nations are working on a united response to the ongoing Israel-Hamas war, a U.S. official tells CNN.
A lot of these questions are being asked amongst ourselves, amongst our partners, and with our Israeli counterparts, and we'll keep having those conversations.
I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
It's one of the most common neurodevelopmental disorders in childhood, and often attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or ADHD, continues through adulthood. Some adults who weren't diagnosed as children may not even be aware they have it. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither has some of the potential signs of ADHD in adults and ways to lessen its impact at home and at work.
Millions of U.S. adults have ADHD. It can cause problems at home, in relationships, and impact careers.
So people will get in trouble at work. They may get reprimanded for not completing assignments. They may have trouble in their social life.
Adults with ADHD may be tempted to take unnecessary risks. They may have difficulty waiting in line or driving in heavy traffic, feel restless and unable to sit through certain activities. They may frequently shift their bodies or tap fingers or feet, or have mood swings like a quick temper or low stress tolerance.
Symptoms of inattention and poor concentration can be due to a whole host of other disorders.
That's why psychiatrist Claudine Eagle with Mayo Clinic says to see a primary care doctor or mental health professional if you suspect ADHD symptoms. While there's no definitive test to diagnose it in adults, she says there are ways to lessen its impact.
Routine is everything for somebody with ADHD.
Manage your time. Use a planner, calendar, or app to help create reminders. Organize your tasks. Divide big jobs into smaller steps you can check off. And ask for help from family members and friends when you feel less motivated or overwhelmed. In the office, use storage systems to keep your desk organized and clear. You may also try using headphones or earplugs to block out distracting noises. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Is Isabel Isco, our forecaster here today, to give us a little look at weather. So Isabel, I know that the weather has been lovely today, 70 in November. That is crazy. Tell us a little.
It is crazy that it's 70 in November right now. It's just been on the warmer side just because of this high pressure system that came in. It gave us some drying and it definitely gave us some clearing and some warming these next couple days. We're going to feel like this even tomorrow, which is great for these next couple days. Then we might be looking on the rainy side. So it is going to be warm tomorrow, going to be a little bit on the cloudy side just from this low pressure system that's coming in. And then it's going to stick with that kind of same rhyme on Wednesday. And then towards the end of the night, it will be on the rainy side. That's whenever it's going to start up. And then Thursday, that's whenever we're going to see the most amount of rain and it start to chill again. So definitely going to stay with the warmer side still. It won't be in the 30s or 40s yet, just in those mid 50s. Friday, Saturday for your Veterans Day. It will be clearing out by Saturday for Veterans Day, which is on the good side, but it is going to be just not as warm as these next couple of days. If you're still heading out to those polls right now, we're looking at temperatures that aren't going to be that low tonight. It will definitely be on the warmer side. Oh, looks like my weather is finally getting up there. Definitely a little bit of a break in there that it wasn't working earlier, but now it is. That's great. It is going to be warmer as you're heading to the polls if you're having those last minute, and sorry about that, but it is going to be warmer as we go into the week, and then it's going to be rainy this weekend.
That was awesome. Thank you. So now we're going to go ahead and pass it over to our sports anchor with a look at sports coming up after the break.
Thanks, Silver. Coming up in sports, the Bobcats are going dancing. Hear from Ohio soccer head coach Aaron Rodgers and more on a historic MAC title. That story is still ahead for the latest from Newswatch. Check us out on Instagram, Twitter or X, and YouTube.
Saturday at 10 on WOUB.
Hidden deep beneath the Cumberland Mountains in Grundy County, Tennessee, lies one of the world's most magical musical adventures, the Cavern Sessions. 3 million years in the making, Pure Acoustics offer music from the heart of the American experience, center stage and deep inside the mountain. This time welcoming Iron and Wine. It's deep down musical diversity at the Cavern Sessions.
Friday at 11 on WOUB.
Next time on Antiques Roadshow Vintage Dallas Hour 1.
grab a drink.
They called it Etruscan majolica. It's called the shell and seaweed pattern.
Choose a seat.
I didn't know if it was ugly or beautiful, but I thought it was the most fascinating thing I'd ever seen.
And take a swing at how the values of our Texas finds have fared over the last 15 years.
If you could actually pull some of the original early photos out, you could triple the value.
Oh, really?
Easily.
Monday at 8 on WOUB.
You are kidding me!
On Finding Your Roots, Billy Crudup.
These are the forces that shape our lives, you know?
Yeah. And Tamara Mowry.
You know when you always say, I got it from my mama?
A patriot helped settle a city.
How could this not have been passed down?
And an ancestor challenges the establishment.
He was a religious radical.
That's insane!
Plus, a DNA match.
Are you kidding me? Get out of here.
Tonight at 8 on WOUB.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Grant Keeper with sports, and the Ohio soccer team has made history as the Bobcats are going to their first ever NCAA tournament in program history. After being on the outside looking in for the MAC tournament during the final day of the regular season, Ohio rallied to beat Ball State, Bowling Green, and Kent State en route to a MAC title. Proud is an understatement for Coach Aaron Rodgers, who's looking to see more from his team.
Against the wall, and we had to win games, we had to score multiple goals in games, and we had have to have other things go for us, but we had to do our part, and for us to create that memory and then to just continue creating that memory game after game after game. It's just a wonderful feeling, and it's a wonderful opportunity and experience for these women.
And Ohio's leading goal scorer, Shea Robertson, spoke to the sisterhood the team has and how the MAC title will stick with these women for the rest of their lives.
Sounds crazy, but like first ever, like after you're like, we really did that. Like we all came together, and that's like, it's kind of like a bond with everybody that's just never gonna break. Like we made history and our names will be there.
And coming off their triumphant MAC tournament win on Sunday, the Bobcats are back in action Friday night in East Lansing, Michigan for the first round of the NCAA tournament. A common theme this Ohio squad's had this season is not being able to finish, but Ohio will look to play behind forward Scout Murray, who scored 2 goals in the MAC tournament. Coming off a bye week, Ohio football is back in action tonight in upstate New York to face Buffalo. The Bobcats look to bounce back from its loss to rival Miami of Ohio. Head coach Tim Alvin knows his guys are ready to avenge the Miami loss and are hungry to beat a tough Buffalo squad.
Failure and disappointment comes opportunity to get better. It's my job as the football coach to get our guys to get back up on that horse and enjoy this journey. Yes, we've had to adjust some expectations on the year, absolutely. But I know our guys will do it the right way, and we're looking forward to this next opportunity.
Now, Ohio's had the week off while Buffalo lost to Toledo on Halloween night in a game that looked like it was played in a snow globe. But anyways, the Bobcats smoked the Bulls in Athens last year, scoring their 3rd most points all season at 45. However, this Buffalo team, don't let their record deceive you, as all 3 of their wins have come in MAC play. College basketball has officially returned last night, and Ohio will get its season started tomorrow night at the Convo. The Bobcats will face Troy in the inaugural MAC versus Sun Belt Challenge game. Head coach Jeff Bowles is focused on ramping up work to help his newcomers gain experience.
Every year's different. We got some veterans, returners, and like you said, we got some new guys who really haven't played a whole lot. So there's a mix in there. We got to get those guys who don't have a lot of experience, up to speed and doing things how we need them to do it.
That game against Troy tomorrow, part of a busy week for Ohio's athletics. Is Reese, what a run this Ohio soccer team's had as they're going to the big dance.
Yeah, what a fun name that is too. Do you have any dance moves you like to show?
I do not, unfortunately.
I'll do a little cha-cha. Okay, I'm done. I'm embarrassing myself here. But anyways, next, find out why more Americans are working more jobs. But first, here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
I was calling to ask for some advice about having a word with Rose, about addressing needs, desires.
I can't go back to how it was before.
It was a moment of madness.
It's the sanest thing I've ever done.
You have tried to do what is best for your friend, but now you must trust me.
Stay away from my wife. Are you threatening me? Are you planning to cut Ainsworth out of this deal? What do you prefer? We got other ways we can take over the hotel.
Sunday at 8 on WOUB.
On Masterpiece.
You're fighting for us.
I'm a boy playing soldiers.
We don't help them because we can't. I'm not just gonna leave a baby to bloody die, am I?
You can work for us if you have the courage.
She's a traitor, after all.
What's going on here?
Explain yourselves.
The Nazis have put all of us in an impossible position.
God knows we're all on the brink. We've got to keep a grip of our sanity.
World on Fire on Masterpiece.
Sunday at 9 on WOUB.
There are always new surprises to uncover.
You see increasing innovation everywhere.
Life is interconnected in ways we could hardly imagine. Our spies reveal the extraordinary relationships that exist among the creatures of the ocean.
To understand how China innovates is to rethink what innovation means in the first place.
Wednesday on WOUB.
You will find out so much about yourself just learning comedy.
It's a miracle. If they don't laugh at me in class, why would I think somebody else will laugh at me?
I'm losing confidence in whether or not I'm funny.
This is way harder than I thought it was going to be.
Friday on WOUB.
Finally, tonight, a growing number of Americans are working multiple jobs. That's according to the October jobs report from the Labor Department. It reveals nearly 8.4 million people had multiple jobs in October. That's the highest number since the start of the pandemic, and women appear to be leading that trend. The federal data shows nearly 6% of women worked multiple jobs in October. That's compared to 4.7% of men. Experts say people may be taking on additional jobs to offset high inflation, which has been easing, but is still painfully high for some households.
And finally, for weather, finally got it working up there. You can see that Athens currently, we're at 64 degrees and clear. With that later sunset, it is now not as sunny out there. It's definitely dark out there now. So if you're heading to the polls for these last 30 minutes, it's definitely going to be on the warmer side than it has been earlier in this week, but definitely 64 and clear, in the overnight low tonight of 56. If you want to take that late night stroll, it's definitely good weather for that. All you really need is a light jacket, and those cloudy skies are going to be continuing into the next couple of days. You could see that tomorrow. You could see the low pressure system is going to make its first wave into our area, not giving us some rain quite yet, but you can see that warm front is going to giving us some warmer temperatures looking at tomorrow, and those cloudy skies. Looking at tomorrow night, that is whenever we're going to first have that kind of peak of some showers in our forecast just later into the night, and that low pressure system is definitely building over the Midwest, giving some pretty intense rain to some areas, but not here in southeast Ohio. And Thursday, that is whenever it's going to start getting cooler here. So you could see that, and after that cooling, we're going to be back into those clear skies. That 7-day outlook, you could see that Thursday, that 40% chance of showers, that high of 69, that low 41, and after that, we're going to be back into the 50s here in southeast Ohio. With Friday, that high 51 and that low 33, with that 50% chance of showers. And once those showers are out of here, it is going to be mostly sunny again, but more on the chillier side, more seasonal here for southeast Ohio.
All right, those are some beautiful temperatures to look at for November.
Definitely.
Yeah. Question, do you think snow will come in December? Do you think we'll have a snowy Christmas?
I'm not really sure quite yet. It's definitely going to be a warmer Christmas for sure here in southeast Ohio.
Well, honestly, I'm not mad about the nice weather. It can stay around for as long as it wants. And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. For Grant Kiefer and Isabel Isco, I'm Reese Thompson.
And I'm Silver Barker. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at WOUB.org or follow us on social media. Have a great night. We make sure, first, we want to leave you with a live look outside the Board of Elections here in Athens. Now have a great night.
Support comes from Visit Athens County. More information can be found at AthensOhio.com. Athens, it's more than a place.